Hey YouTube, what's up? This is Miss Ashley Nicole, and welcome back to my channel. Y'all, I know it's been a long time, and I almost didn't come on here tonight, child, because I just been busy. But I had to because um I wanted to talk about this case that I've been watching on YouTube. And I don't know if it's really gotten a lot of attention. I don't think so. Of course, when it happened, it probably did, but now I haven't really been seeing a lot about it. And it probably came up because it happened in Florida. And I don't know if you all have ever heard of Florida. I'm sure you have. Florida Man. It's almost like this thing where people like, oh, uh like the crazy things happen in Florida, or like these out of this world stories, like, oh my gosh, I can't believe this person did that. And it's always somebody in Florida that did it. So I wanted to come on and talk about this case. Nevertheless, it is a very serious case. Um, but I hope you all's weekend is going well. It's probably it's kind of hard getting back into the swing of this, just going live. But I said let me do it anyway because I gotta know if somebody I gotta know y'all opinion about this case. Um so let's get right into it. So basically, this live is all my opinion. I'm just giving commentary on the trial. There is a trial going on, and the story in general. So this, I think he's 27. Travis, it's about Travis Rudolph. He's 27 years old, and I know he went to FSU, Florida State University, where he played football. So he was a good football player. I believe he was a wide receiver, and he didn't stay there all 4 years. I think he only stayed 3 years. He only stayed 3 years, and then he entered into the draft. Long story short, he got drafted to the New York Giants, and he was only there, I believe, for one season. And I don't know if his family is originally from Florida or if they're originally from Alabama or if they just lived in Alabama. Um, but I'll tell y'all why I think that in a minute. But I don't know if they're originally from Florida. But again, this is all my opinion. I'm just giving my commentary based on the trial that I saw, and the information that was given in the trial. And so I want to start in 2017. So in 2017, his father was uh was killed, right? And so the story that I read was that the dad was working. He was killed in a strip club, but he was working in the strip club. The story I saw said that he was doing some repairs, and I guess one of the other co-workers was in a room that was kind of that was adjacent to him, and took a handgun off the shelf, or a gun off the shelf, and the gun went off some kind of way, and he was shot and he died. And his dad was only like 55 years old, I believe. Yeah. And so based on what was said in the trial, like, of course, Travis's whole family was very shocked, devastated, traumatized, right? And just couldn't believe that this happened to the dad. Now I know he has two other siblings. One of the siblings was a witness in the trial, but we'll get to that later. But nevertheless, to say the least, the family was traumatized, and you could tell by some of the things that were said in the trial or that happened in the trial that this family is still traumatized, of course, by that. and they talked a little bit about his mom being traumatized. Like this happened in 2017, and so ever since then, they kind of described the mom as not being able to sleep at night. Like she stays up all hours of the night, but as a result of that incident, the mom became very hyper vigilant, right? Like always on alert. She had to have all of these cameras at her house. Um I think she had a Ring camera, but she also had some other cameras at the house, like just wanting to have a lot of security and things like that. Because I don't know if they I think the authorities said that what happened to the dad was an accident, but the family thought otherwise, right? And so they were, the mom was just like, no, like we need to amp security up at the house. Now the older brother, maybe he was the one who lived in Alabama. Well, in the trial they said that he had a farm. He's into like agriculture and things like that. And so he moved back to Florida to help the mom because she just like she stopped working and everything when this happened to the dad. Okay. So now keep this in your mind when you when I talk about what happened fairly recently. Right? Hold on, y'all. Okay. So the dad got killed in 2017. Okay, fast forward to that. Okay, now mind you, I told you the oldest brother, moved back to Florida to live with the mom, right? And to help her with bills, he said, and all of this to make sure the house was okay, make sure she was okay because she just was not doing well since the dad got killed. And so Travis, he's the youngest sibling. He's the youngest sibling, and so he did one season with the New York Giants, but then he got injured, and so then he came back to Florida so that he could. I think he had surgery, working on getting well, training, and all of this stuff, right? Trying to get back into the NFL or either play for a different team and things like that. So he was here for a minute, right? So he was living with the mom as well. Okay, so some kind of way, he met some girl, they were a couple and all of this stuff. I'm not really sure. I missed the part where they said like how long they were talking or how long they were in a relationship. Um, but I mean, that's neither here nor there, child. So, in 2021, in April of 2021, this girl he was dating, her name is Dominique, and she was a witness at the trial too. um she was at his house. She kind of described, talked about their relationship and things like that when she was on the stand and everything. And she was saying that his family was like a second family to her and all of this stuff, right? But it was kind of brought out that her family was not doing very well. Like, they really were just sound like just making ends meet or whatever, right? And the lawyers kind of try to make it seem like she was kind of after Travis for his money because she knew he was in the NFL or that he would go back to the NFL. I think at one point he did get a contract to play for the CFL, which is the Canadian Football League. And so, she knew that. And so she was trying to stay with him in any way she could so she can, be a part of monetary gain. So, anyway, come April of 2021, right? It sounded like a typical day. She went to his house. They was chilling, hanging out or whatever, right? And so his brother, let me just say this: the brother laid it out. Like the story that the brother told, I was like, this what happened. this is what happened. Because y'all know in them trials, like you try to, it's like everybody tell their own story. Everybody putting a little sauce on it. Everybody, and all this or whatever, depending on what side they on. And then, even though it's the law, this is what they do. And then you get somebody you like, you putting the puzzle pieces together. And when you hear this, they heard the brother, baby, the brother laid it out. So the brother, it was just Travis and Dominique at the house or whatever, right? And so the brother went to get his car washed or was running errands. He came back home and he wanted to ask Travis, like, hey, how did do you think they cleaned out my car good? Like, do you think they did a good job on the detail or whatever? And so Travis went outside with him to look at the car and everything. Now, this is where I think the ish hit the fan with Dominique, right? And see, this is a prime example of how people, because y'all know I got to bring mental health in, right? This is a prime example of how people allow their emotions to lead them, right? How they allow their emotions to lead them instead of logic. And it happens all the time. It happens to all of us. We don't think before we act and things like that. We don't think before we speak, right? A lot of times we go based on how we feel in a situation, right? And so when I heard Dominique's testimony, I heard, everybody before the brother, and then the brother came. I'm like, oh, this is the missing piece right here. This is in my opinion. So he said that he went in the house to get his brother to ask him about the car. How did he think the car looked and all kind of stuff, right? Okay, cool. So while the brother was outside, right, it seemed like to me that Dominique, this probably wasn't her first time feeling like he was cheating on her, or, you know, maybe she had an inkling he was talking to somebody else or whatever, right? And she went through his phone, right? She went through the phone and she found some girl's name in there or something like that. And so then immediately she got upset. Now, this is what the brother said. She got upset, right? Okay, so they come back in the house from looking at the car, and the brother said she just went crazy. Like, she was calling Travis all kind of names, and just, like, who is this and who he's talking to? Y'all know how they do. So so they start going back and forth, arguing and stuff like this. It sounded like this was going on for a while. Like, the brother was like, he was getting annoyed, like, okay, you just need to go home because y'all arguing, y'all at my mama house, like, y'all tripping, you just need to leave because the situation not getting no better. So now, mind you, the mom has all of these cameras in around the house. She got a ring and all of this stuff. So all of this stuff, especially when the argument goes outside, right? The ring catches all of this. So they go outside. On the video, you can see her, like, see them arguing or whatever. They said she had a Patron bottle. She didn't hit him in the head with the Patron bottle. She was trying to bust his windows out, all kind of stuff, right? So I can't even remember them when they started talking about, like, how it is that she even left the house. It sounds like the brother kept telling her, like, you need to leave, like, this is, y'all doing too much. He said that she broke stuff in the mom's house, and he was telling his brother, like, I've been telling you that this girl basically is no good for you. Like, she always starting mess, she always arguing with you, like, you don't need to be with her and stuff like this, right? And he was like, my brother didn't listen to me. I bet he wish he would have listened to him now. So, okay, y'all. So this what happened. So some kind of way the girl left, and Travis go back in the house, like, going about to go to sleep, right? Okay, so in between this time, the brother was saying that she was like cussing him out and all of this, but she was telling him, I'm gonna call my brothers to come, like I'm gonna call my brothers on you or whatever. And everybody kind of know for the most part like what that mean. Like, oh, you did me wrong or whatever, because she also alleged that Travis picked her up and threw her on the ground. And she was really upset about this on a stand because she had recently had got like it sounded like she got a BBL, and she was like he picked me up and he threw me on the ground, and like I hit my bottom and I had just had surgery. And so I was immediately hurt, and stuff like that, right? So she kept telling him throughout the argument, I'm going to call my brothers. My brother's going to get you and all this stuff, right? So he ain't paying no attention to this because, and you hear when you're in a relationship and people argue. Sometimes the people say that, especially if it might be like a DV situation or something like that, or somebody didn't hit somebody didn't slap somebody. They'll say, oh, I'm gonna get my family, I'm gonna call my family on you, stuff like that, right? So I guess he didn't think nothing of it, but the girl she did call her brother. Now, I don't know. It sounds like she has one brother, but her brother's friends are like her brothers because they all like close, right? So they call each other family and things like that. So she did call them and she sent them a text. And the text that this girl sent her brother was uh I think she told them that he like, that he hit her something, and for them to go and shoot up his ish, right? Now I don't know what type of time her brother and his friends were on, if maybe when they got the text they had been drinking, or I don't know. But it's like they took, of course, what she said to heart. It's like they didn't really ask any questions. Um, they went over there. They went over to Travis' house at like midnight. Now, mind you, this is Travis's mom's house, and the mom wasn't. Was the mom? No, the mom wasn't there when the brother showed up. Now it's four of them, right? It's four of them. Just imagine this. It's four grown men going to someone's house at midnight, right? To someone's house, and maybe they didn't know. I think they may have known what happened to Travis's dad, but I'm not sure. But they went to his house to, quote unquote, confront him, and knowing that something happened to their dad, like in a tragic way, or that someone killed the dad, right? Because see, this is my thing, and of course hindsight is 2020, but it's like the dad really just passed 2017, and so the mom on high alert, the siblings on high alert, Travis on high alert, like feeling like, okay, this happened to our dad, like this probably could happen to us. So it didn't have to be them. It could have been anybody that came to Travis' house that late at night with, not knowing that they was coming. The brother said that they were banging on the door like they were the police, right? And they had on hoodies. They one of them brought a gun with them, right? And so they don't know who this is, so they already on high alert, like who at our door this late, right? Okay. So they went over there. They said they just went there to talk to him. And when I thought about it, I was like, maybe that could be true. Like maybe they did go over there to just talk, like what's going on, or like they really didn't say. If I probably missed if they said that they tried to call him or text him or whatever, right? Like, what's going on? I think one of them did text him, like, I can't believe you did this to my sister, or but he didn't respond. So I guess they said, okay, well, we just gonna go over there. So they go over to the house, y'all. Oh my goodness. So the brother answers the door. He said immediately they start asking for his brother, like tell Travis to come out, tell your your B brother to come out and all this stuff, right? So long story short, they get to fighting and all of this. They get to fighting. The neighbors come outside. I mean, they just fighting. It was four of them. It was four of them, and then it was Travis and his brother. So the brother was like, they basically jumped us, right, and all of this. Now, this whole time, it doesn't sound like whichever one brought a gun with them, it doesn't sound like they pulled the gun out or anything. Like they were like threatening them and things like that. So they outside fighting and stuff. So I guess towards the end of it, they tried the four dudes. They tried to run back to their car because they didn't park by the house. Like I guess they parked down the street or whatever. So they started running down the street. And Travis' brother, he ran, he ran after. Now he said that one of them did put a gun in his face, but I don't know. This is what he said, but they was kind of going back and forth about that, right? But he ran after him, and Travis went in the house and got his gun. He went out and got his gun. He started shooting, and I don't think at the time he knew that he hit one of them, but he did, and one of them died. Now, this is how we come to present day for this trial. Travis tried to claim self defense, right? Because he like, oh, this is when I say what he's saying, this is kind of like what I'm envisioning. He like, oh, they came to my house trying to threaten me. I didn't know who they were. Like they tried to, they was trying to beat up. They jumped me and my brother. Like, you know, that it was self defense. The judge denied that. They denied self defense. And so now this man is on trial for murder because one of them died and another one was injured, right? Now, this is my thing. Okay, so when we get to the trial, this is the part that was so interesting to me because y'all, I've never, and I mean, I haven't seen a lot of trials only on TV or YouTube or whatever, live trials, but I've never seen witnesses act so I don't even know the word for it, y'all. They were just, it's like they didn't really take accountability. That's what it seemed like to me for their actions, right? It was almost like they got up there, one of the dudes was up there, he was like, whatever you say. This is what the lawyer asked him a question. He was like, whatever you say, I really don't care. At one point he was like, just kept asking him to repeat the question, and he's like, yeah, okay, yeah, I agree. Yeah, I agree. This is how he was talking. And then at one point he was like, my back hurt, like I'm trying to get up out of here, whatever you want me to say so I can go home. I was like, what? So there, it seemed like their stance is like, okay, we didn't go over there for that. This situation took one of my close friends, almost like my brother, and so I don't care what happens at this point, right? Like I don't, one of the witnesses was saying my life has been impacted so much by this that at this point it's like it's nothing worse that could happen. You know what I'm saying? And so they didn't care. They was just up there like, yep, whatever you say. Yep, I agree. You said what? Oh yeah. Or yeah. Oh, can you what? Repeat the question. I don't know. Yeah. And so then, so I was like, oh my gosh. So then the ex girlfriend got up there and baby, first of all, I mean, I don't like to, it's people dress how they want to dress. You know what I'm saying? People dress how they want to dress. Nowadays people are a little bit more free with how they dress, and things like that, especially in Florida. If y'all see some of the stuff that I see when I'm out, you'll be like, what in the world? But this, when you go to court, I feel like it's a certain way you should, present yourself. And this girl had on, I mean, the dress was so short. I was like, oh my gosh, where is she going? Like, her butt was almost out, her breast was almost out. I'm like, where is she going? And when she got up there, she was so like disrespectful, y'all. Like, I'm like, okay, if she talking like this while she in court today, I can't even imagine what she was saying, or how she was talking when she was at Travis' house. Like, this girl, she she was basically, when the witness is up there and some of the lawyers will say, one of the lawyers will say objection. She was like, she was saying objection. She was looking at the judge and was like, this lawyer is argumentative. Like, girl, you are not a lawyer. I said, what is she doing? And so she was so disrespectful. And so, they kind of addressed it with her. They tried to kind of address, like, you act like you don't care, whatever, right? And she was like, I shouldn't have said what I said. Like, I already said that I made a dumb decision, or like almost like, don't keep asking me that. But she is the whole reason why this thing happened. Now, don't get me wrong. Of course, Travis, he should have been thinking before he started shooting. Like, it was maybe other things that they could have done. They could have called the police. They could have stayed in the house, because they got cameras. If you don't know who at your door, don't answer the door. You know what I'm saying? Like me, I don't care if it's a day or night. If I didn't tell you to come to my house, uh, you could see my cars outside, but guess what? It's like, nobody's here. Because I'm not getting ready to open the door. Open the door for what? I didn't tell you to come to my house. I'm not expecting anybody. It could be a whole family inside. It could be about 10, 15 people inside. If I did not tell you to come to my house, you're not getting in. Y'all, it's been times where my blinds could be open and somebody come to my door and I don't know who they are. I didn't order Uber Eats. I didn't order no DoorDash, none of that. I don't know you. So I'm going to look right at you and you can keep knocking, but I'm not going to answer. So guess what? They could have stayed in the house and looked at them ring cameras like, who is that? Oh, that's Keyshawn them. Oh no. Tell Dominique her brother's over here. Call her and tell her brother's over here. Like, they not getting in here for what? Right? So they could have stayed in the house. They could have called the police. They could have did any of that instead of going outside and basically fighting with them about what happened between him and Dominique. Okay, right. But if this girl had never told her brothers go over there and shoot his ish up, then they wouldn't have went over there. They wouldn't have went over there. And it was baffling to me because it sounds like that they were close. Like, her brother, I don't know if all of them, like the friends or whatever, but I know her brother was saying that he went to Travis's sister's wedding and her wedding reception, right? So, it sounded like they had been talking for a while, and both sides of the family kind of knew each other, that was his girlfriend or whatever, but that maybe he was probably messing around and she went looking and she found something. Now, this was what really put her in a rage though. This is what the brother said. Baby, when I say the brother laid it out, the brother told it all, okay? The brother was like, when he came home and when they was arguing in the house, Travis told her, she was like, well, who is this girl and who you talking to and this. And so Travis, so Travis told her, he said, "You just mad because her body looked better than yours." And so the brother was like, so he had to get, she got so mad that he had to get in the middle of them because, mind you, Dominique had just got her BBL like a few weeks ago. So she was mad when he said that. The brother said that's when she started. The brother said she went into a psychopathic rage. When he told her her body, you just mad because her body looked better than yours, and baby, she just went crazy. I said, "Oh my gosh!" So the girl had a Patron bottle. She didn't hit him in the head with the Patron bottle and all kind of stuff. So that's when she started texting her brothers like, "Oh yeah, come over and shoot up his ish." Now, if I remember correctly, one of the friends said he did go to he did bring his gun, but he didn't have no bullets in it. It sounded like to me that they were going over there to scare him, like, don't be messing with my sister, and stuff like that. But one of their friends met their demise. And this is so unfortunate, and it's all based on what this girl said to her brothers. Like I said, this is like a simple case of people leading with their emotions rather than taking a step back and saying, okay, if I've been with this dude a long time or whatever, right? And it sounds like she didn't trust him in the first place, because if he going outside just to look at his brother's car and you take that as an opportunity to look through his phone, you don't trust him no way. You don't trust him no way. Like if you feel like you gotta go snooping or looking, then you don't trust him no way. That gives an inkling of he probably been doing stuff and you just ain't told him that you caught him or whatever, right? But if that's the case, then just leave the dude. Just leave him. Right now, in the middle of the argument, the brother was also saying that she was saying stuff like, "Oh, you a broke and you ain't got no money and all this stuff." Because remember, he had been in the NFL, but he got injured, and so now he was living back home with his mom, and he was trying to like get healthier, and he was training and all of this stuff to go to the CFL because he did have a contract for the CFL, right? And I think he had surgery on like his knee or something happened with his knee. And so she was calling him a broke B and all this stuff, right? And you could tell that they was trying to like understand her and her brother and the friends were trying to make it seem like he wasn't notable. You know what I mean? Like he ain't no NFL player, because the lawyers were saying, he was in the NFL. He's an NFL player, and they were like, he don't play in the NFL. Like he's not an NFL player. And then they asked her, like, he was training when he was back at home in Florida, trying to get back into the NFL or go to the CFL. She was like, no, he was not training. He was playing video games all day. Right. And so they was kind of like trying to make it seem like he ain't nobody for real. So it was just mind boggling to me how all of this started because she told her brothers to go shoot his ish up because she found some girl name in his phone. And her brothers took it like seriously, like, oh yeah, we getting ready to go over there, right? Now again, when you dealing with somebody that has some trauma, now this is, to me, this is recent trauma with Travis's family from the dad getting killed in 2017, right? The dad getting killed in 2017, they are still traumatized. And again, they on high alert. They said the mom can't sleep at night. The mom stay up all hours of the night. And the brother was saying it was midnight, no, it was like around 11 o'clock when they came to the house to confront Travis. And the mom came home at like 12 because she had went to Bible study or something like that. But after that, like a little bit after that, when before the police came to the house, her sister, the mom's sister, came and brought her some food. And so the lawyer was like, at 1 o'clock in the morning, like, why is she coming over there so late? And the brother was like, oh, My mom don't sleep at night. Like she be up all hours of the night ever since my dad passed. Like she can't sleep or anything. This family is traumatized, okay? And so now when somebody comes to their house that they don't know, because the Travis's brother was saying when he saw them at the door, even though they met her brother before, right? When he saw them at the door, he didn't recognize them, even though he met one of them before. Because he was like, he had his hoodie on, and he was like, I didn't know who he was. Like, I'm like, who are these four dudes at my front door? And so them kind of looking at the situation like, okay, these strangers at our door, what are they doing here? They banging on the door, they look like they want to fight us or whatever. He was thinking, I gotta defend myself based on his knowledge of what happened to his dad. Because remember, even though the authorities said that what happened to the dad was an accident, the family did not believe that it was an accident, right? So hence why they have all these cameras. Hence why they got guns in the house, because they said the brother Travis had an AR-15 and some other kind of gun, child. So they ready for whatever based on what happened to their daddy. So you was a fool if you were over there at midnight looking for trouble based on what your sister told you. Now, this is also a lesson because they are young. I think Travis like 27. The ex-girlfriend, she around the same age. Like, y'all gotta start thinking before y'all say something, before y'all do something. If y'all don't like what's happening in a relationship, leave the relationship. Like, it ain't worth it. You sitting up here getting ready to try to bust the dude windows out. You getting ready to call all of your brothers and all their friends, come over here and do this. Like, what was you expecting when you told them that? Like, maybe she expected that they weren't really going to do anything. Like, maybe they were going to like call him, talk to him, or something like that. And I get it, having brothers and uncles and all of this stuff that protect you, right? Especially if you saying somebody hit you and all of this stuff, right? um of course you want your family to protect you, but you got to think about, okay, what are the consequences? Like, would it just be better if I say, you know what, this been going on too long, I know he been cheating, I know I'm just gonna leave him alone, right? And save heartache for everybody. Like, you can't just be doing that. You just can't do that, right? And so now, right, Travis is affected, his family is has another trauma, right? Also, she's affected because now people looking at her sideways, like, girl, you at fault. Like, this is what the people are saying, you're at fault because you said this to your brothers, and now one of your brother's friends that is like family to you called him your brother. He died because of that. He died because of that. And so I was just appalled really by this, really kind of what triggered this whole thing. And also the demeanor on the stand during the trial. Like, they over it. They like, I don't care what happened to him. Like, he killed my friend. I don't care what happened to him. Y'all could put him under the jail. But we didn't go over there for this. But he don't know that. He don't know that. That's just like if he would have came to your house, right? Like, you don't know what they over there for. You don't know what he coming to do or say or whatever, right? And also now in the middle of them fighting, this was crazy, y'all. In the middle of them fighting, they neighbor that lived right across the street, he said, now I was trying to figure out, like, if where they live is like more of like a rural area, because it is some parts of Florida, because this happened in like West Palm, I think like West Palm Beach area. But West Palm Beach is kind of big, so but it's some parts of it that is rural, right? So I was trying to figure it out, but I really don't know. But the neighbor lived right across the street, and the neighbor had his door open. Now, mind y'all, this. I was like, this is so interesting. The neighbor, this was at like 11:30 at night. The neighbor had his door open, but I guess he had like a screen door, right? Where maybe he was just letting some onions out. So he had his door open, but the screen door was, closed. So he said he was at home. He was at home he was at home by himself because his wife went somewhere to travel or whatever. And he heard them fighting, right? He was like, he heard he heard somebody fighting. And so he said he got up and was looking out the door, some out the window, and he said all he heard was Dominique calling Travis a broke bee. He said she just kept saying, "You broke bee, you a broke bee, you broke bee, right?" And so he said, "Oh, not again," because he had just found out that his friend that lived down the street had passed away. So he said he was having a rough day, and he heard them arguing, and he was like, "Oh, here we go. Like, I don't need this today, like this is too much. I wish they just go in the house or whatever." Okay, so then he heard and saw the dudes come to the door, right? Next thing he knew, they were fighting and all this stuff. This man, this man said that it had got so bad with the fighting that he thought something was about to pop off, like somebody was getting ready to lose their life, right? So he said he went and got his piece. He said he went in the back and got his piece, and I guess he was standing at the door to see what was getting ready to go down and see if so the lawyer was asking him, "Well, why did you go he said, "Well, why did you go get your piece? Like, did they say anything to you? Did they come to your house?" And he said, "Well, they was fighting all in the grass, all in the street." He said, "I thought it might have probably could have came over to my yard." And I guess he's saying if it would have came over to my yard, I would have started shooting, right? And so he said, "But did they come to your yard?" He was like, "No." And he was like, he said, "Did you fear for your life?" He said, "Mm-mm." But he knew he needed to go get that piece because he said it was just a brawl. He said it was like he said it was just crazy. They were just fighting, fighting, fighting. And so but he kind of it sounded like he kind of knew the family, like talked to them every now and then. Didn't seem like he was real close, but he was saying that they sometimes brought him food if his wife wasn't home because he was an older man. And he said that they would bring him food if his wife was out of town or something like that. And that he would kind of do things for them if they asked him, like odds and ends or whatever, right? And so this man said they was fighting so bad that he went in the back of his house and got his piece and stayed right up there at that door to see what was getting ready to happen. But I guess he didn't see the part where Travis, was shooting and stuff like that. So I'm like, oh my gosh. So this again, this was triggered by the ex-girlfriend saying, "Go shoot up his ish. Go shoot up his ish." And then my thing is this, who even says that? Like like when you think about it, if you I mean, anything could happen, right? And this did happen, but I'm like, okay, because she was like, I didn't mean it. I didn't mean that literally, right? But if you got into it with your boyfriend, right? and he made you mad, maybe you was hitting on him, he was hitting on you. When you call your uncles and your brother, is that what you say? Like I would think you would lead with such and such hit me, right? Or uh tell them like what happened. He talking to somebody else or whatever. Or if he hit you, then you would leave with that, not like go shoot up his fish. I didn't get that. I was like, who used that choice of words? So I don't know, child. But like I said, she sent that text and it was on and popping. The brother called his friend because they, mind you, it was four of them, so they weren't even together when she texted them this. It was like, okay, she texted her brother, then the brother called his friend Keyshawn, then Keyshawn might have been the brother, y'all, but one of them had to call the other one of them, then this one called that one, and he said he was sleeping, he was half sleeping, he didn't know what they were saying, but he got on up and said, okay, let's go over there. You can't, okay, you friends are friends, but you got to think for yourself, okay? This is some foolishness. What are you going over there to do? Like, this would have been my conversation with either my brother or my son. What you went over there to do at 12 o'clock at night? What you finna go do? Not a thing. You gonna sit your butt right here at home. For what? For what? Whatever he didn't already done. Y'all need to get y'all some sleep and figure out what happened with this whole situation tomorrow. And talk to Dominique, see what she say, talk to him. Cause again, it sounded like that they were fairly all of them knew each other. It wasn't like she was dating him and he never met her brother or like her family. It didn't sound like that. It sounded like they all sometime maybe hung out because even the brother was like, he one time his sister was getting her hair done or whatever. Dominique was getting her hair done, and it was closer to Travis's house. So he said he dropped his sister off at the hair salon and went to Travis's house to wait for her to do and so he was over there doing his homework. So this ain't no, oh, I don't really know him like that. I know he my sister boyfriend, but I don't, like I don't really talk to him like that. Like, you sitting up at his house while your sister get her hair done. So you mean to tell me you couldn't wait till the next day to call him and be like, what happened between you and my sister? Like, you said, let me call up three of my friends and we gonna go over there and we gonna do what we got to do. No, no, you got to put your thinking cap on. You got to put your thinking cap on. So also the brother, oh my gosh, the brother said, in the beginning when they get on the stand, they asked him, what do you do? Where do you work? Blah blah blah, right? So he working or whatever, but he said that he is in school for pre-med. I say, I know you lying. I know you lying. I know you lying. And don't get me wrong, people make mistakes, in their younger years and all of this. But no, if you don't have your thinking cap on with this, how your thinking cap gonna be on? And you the doctor? Oh, something ain't right. You got to rethink that. You got to rethink that. Pre med, come on now, come on now. This is crazy. So, all of them were kind of saying like this has really impacted our life, and they didn't lost their friend, like I'm sure that they are traumatized. I'm sure that, they didn't have an inkling or think that this would have happened when this would be the result of them going over there, right? But this is why you got to think things through. You gotta think things through. And this was not even your situation to be fighting, right? Your sister could have simply said, oh, I didn't stay over there because we got into it, and He cheating and we ain't together no more. Boom, simple. Boom, simple. But instead, she sent out the alarms and was like, "Oh, they gonna do what I need them to do." Basically, basically that's what she said. And so then too, it seemed like from the beginning that she wasn't even really tripping off of like what was really maybe they didn't realize what was really going on or the severity of the situation because the police was like, oh, um, telling her, like, I guess a few days later after it happened, bring your phone as soon as you can to the police department, right? Instead of her taking the phone or whatever, she was like, "Oh, I live too far from the station, so I just waited. I went and gave no her friend was by her or something, and she gave the phone to her friend and told her friend to just drop the phone off. Like it's just like laissez faire. You know what I'm saying? Like, girl, this is a serious situation. They're like, why didn't you take the phone that day? She was like, I live too far. Like, I was thinking, like, is this really how this can't be how Generation Z think. Like this girl had no care in the world. She came in court looking like whatever, whoever, whenever, I don't care. I'm ready to get up out of here. Her brother came in there like whatever, whoever, I don't care. The brother friend came in there like my back hurts, so hurry this up, whatever you want me to say. Let's just get to it. Whatever answer you want me to say, tell me what you want me to say, and I'll say it so I can go. Cause he was like, he said, I've been up here all week. And to be honest, I don't care. This is what he said on the stand. So I'm thinking to myself, do the judge hear this? They was talking over the lawyers. Dominique was telling the lawyer she was argumentative. Um basically saying they was asking the lawyers questions. The lawyers was asking them stuff. They came back with questions. Like, oh, okay, well, you tell me if you was in that situation, blah blah blah. Oh, you tell me, would you such and such? You asking me this. Then one of them was telling them definitions of words. I was like, this this a whole circus. This is a mess. And the judge didn't say a word. The judge didn't say, hey, just say yes or no. Answer the question, listen to the question first. But because sometimes in the live trials, you see that the judge like, hey, like, excuse me, listen to the question all the way before you answer. Only answer yes and no, blah blah. The judge said, just let him do it, child. Just let him do it, because he was gonna be going back and forth with him at some point, probably. They did not have a care about what was going on, honey. They did not care. So it's like I'm like, this can't be how. Of course, all generations years don't behave this way, but I was just appalled because I'm like, okay, if you want justice, for your friend, and you say like he did this to my friend, blah blah blah, or is it that you just so traumatized that it's kind of like they can't take anymore? You know what I'm saying? Like this is beyond them that something like this happened to them, and so it's like it's triggering, of course, for them to be in that situation, them asking them questions about, when they went, who was with them, what they had on, or, all this stuff, what specifically happened, second by second, really. Um, and so yeah, so this is like now everybody traumatized, right? Travis, his family traumatized again. Dominique got to live the rest of her life probably with some feeling some type of guilt, right? Some type of shame, about the text that she sent. And it was some information that she was like searching for on her phone. That like in the days after when they found out that the friend died, Dominique had been searching on her phone, like you know, trying some information about trying to see like was she an accomplice, or like if she could get in trouble for whatever happened because she sent those texts. And I think some of the texts she even deleted and stuff like that. And so I was thinking, well, I wondered like if there's like a charge for that, because it does seem like to me that that is what triggered them to go to his house. Um, and so then I was kind of surprised about I would have to look into it a little bit more, and I'm not a lawyer or anything, right? As far as the stand your ground, because they did come to his house for trouble, right? They came to his house, it seems like based on, and it appears that they came to his house based on what the sister said, right? Because otherwise they wouldn't have went over there, right? So based on the sister saying for them, her exact words were shoot his ish up. Go shoot his ish up, right? So based on that, they went over there, and the result was one of their friends passing away, but you went and banged on the door. You was, fighting the person that lived at that house, and they even parked like they said they didn't park in their driveway or like on the side of the house, or or something like that. They parked far away. Um because they were running back to the car. They were running back to the car. So they parked far away. So I mean, I don't even know the reason for that. I guess so. I didn't really get that part. Like, but I guess like the brother was saying, he was like, I didn't know who they were. Like I didn't recognize them. So maybe, but no, because they were saying, oh, Travis did my sister like this. He messed with, because she kept telling him, oh, you messed with the wrong girl. I'm gonna get my brothers to, get you or whatever. You messed with the wrong girl and all this stuff. So they knew, apparently at some point who they were. You know what I'm saying? Probably not when he first came over there banging on the door, because the brother said, y'all got to go look at the brother testimony. The brother said Travis saved my life, because the brother was like, they came to the door banging on the door. He said, I thought it was the police. And he demonstrated how they was banging on the door. He was like, I thought they were the police. And he was thinking, well, who are these four strange men in my door? And so he was like, when he opened the door, they immediately started saying, "Tell your BA brother to come outside. Tell him to come outside. Tell no, we looking for Travis. Tell Travis to come outside." And he like, "What?" Right? So I guess when Travis didn't come, some kind of way, he said all of a sudden one of them, punching him, and then the brother came outside, and one of them, they was talking, and then one of them hit the brother in the eye, and he said he hit him in the eye so hard that he said he was trying to knock his eye out. I said, "What?" He said he said he was trying to make his eyes come out. And then he was like, he said, I thought I was gonna lose my life. He said one of them put a gun in his face, right? And so but then the lawyer, he came back and was like, how close was the gun in your face? He was like, oh, it was close, it was close. And he said, and he didn't shoot you? And he said, no. He said, did he have a chance to? He was like, yeah, but he said, but he didn't. Right. So they were trying to say like they didn't come over there for that. They didn't pull out their guns, they didn't use their guns, they didn't shoot their guns not one time. Even when Travis was shooting at them, they did not shoot back. Even though they kept saying they had a gun and all of this stuff, they did not shoot back. So they didn't come over there for that. They came over there maybe to fight, or have a back and forth, a brawl or whatever, but they didn't come over there for nobody to be shooting and get killed and all of this stuff, right? Um and that's probably what it was. But baby, based on what was in Travis' mind, based on what was in Travis' mind and his brother about their daddy, anybody could get it. Anybody could get it, because they don't know who and why, what for with their daddy. And that's what they believe. right? And sitting there looking at their mom every day cry, can't sleep, can't eat, can't work based on what happened to their daddy, anybody could get it, right? So yeah, so y'all let me know what y'all opinion is about this case. If y'all have heard about it, just wanted to come and get my commentary and opinion on it. I believe the last the Travis's brother was the last witness. Oh no, he wasn't. He was the second to last witness. I think the last one was like a some kind of expert or something like that regarding firearms or something. But I think the trial is over. They may be in closing arguments like Monday or something, and then they giving it to the jury. So I am very curious to see what will happen with this case. And I'll come back when the verdict is out. But I thought this was very interesting. I hope y'all enjoyed the live. Those of you watching the replay, make sure you like, comment, and subscribe. And I'll see y'all on the next one. Bye.